Here's something that you might be interested in, especially those who believe that homes built years ago were built better than they are today. So check it out. This is a prefabricated house built in the early 1940s. And not a lot to them. Bolt them together. This isn't rocket science. I could see how these prefabricated homes would have made master carpenters out of somebody within a couple of days. And it is interesting. I've never seen anything like this. I haven't ever worked on a prefabricated house or built one, so it's kind of interesting to see how they bolt together. And you can see that the window headers and looks like the wall framing studs are spaced 24 inches on center. No trimmers under the headers, and not a lot of structural support in the floors. And there's a nice picture of it there, the window, and putting it together. But it is interesting how some of these homes are built, and I don't know if they're still standing. I don't have the address to the house, could never check it out, but definitely something interesting to watch come together. Now, I don't have any roof framing on this. I only have one picture of a porch being raised, the porch roof. Would have been nice to see how the roof went together, or even the floor. I mean, you can kind of tell where the floor looks like it's prefabricated sections also that were bolted together. Not much to the windows there. Looks like the windowsill was part of the framing there, actually. And these are not going to have any insulation. There's no insulation. What you're looking at is going to be the finished product. And there's the guy hooking up the electricity. The porch roof being raised. And again, it's all in sections. The finished product there. And the electrician wiring up some stuff here. Now we can take a look at the inside of the house. You can see the furniture is in, no carpeting. Plenty of food on the table though. No insulation, no drywall. And I doubt if they had any heating or air conditioning. But anyway, now we have a pretty good idea, except for the roof framing, maybe the floor framing, and some of the other parts of the house, what it might have taken to assemble something like this. And again, I'm sure that most of this stuff was just simply prefabricated, bolting it together, and you were done. And but here's another one of these videos I thought you would find interesting. I sure have thought they were interesting, how they built homes in the early 1940s. And here you can see somebody setting the floor joists or the rim joists on concrete piers. So we got one over here, one here, another one here, and setting them here again. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I actually made this video once, and I was, it was a little long. And main thing I'm kind of showing here are the pictures of the people instead of spend a lot of time narrating it. So here we got a guy with a small hammer, a 6-inch slide rule in his pocket there, and it looks like a combination square. And most of these people have some type of a pouch here or an apron. And almost everybody, I should say everybody does. I already reviewed the pictures. Everybody's got a hat on except for one guy painting at the end of the video. I thought that was interesting also. So attaching them to the little metal brackets that are sticking out here. And of course the bridging. I noticed that they didn't nail the bridging. It looks like they got the bottoms nailed, but they don't have the top. I'm guessing they nail the bridging once they get the sheathing on. Otherwise it could force all of the joists to one direction. So if you put all the sheathing on, the 1x6 or 1x8, whatever it is, and you nailed all of joists in place, and then you nailed the bridging, then these things aren't going to move much. Again, nailing, more nailing. Of course, a guy with a handsaw, interesting, huh? No power, no electrical cords out here. Nailing. Looks like we got a guy on the end cutting. I thought this was interesting. A guy with a hatchet. And looks like he whacked into the board here a couple of times and then now is chipping it out. The board here might have a crown in it. This one might be a little higher than this one. He's trying to flatten it out. And later on we'll see someone using a hand plane instead of the hatchet there. Nailing. Standing up the first wall. And you can see here all the walls, prefab walls at the end. And then we have the gable ends on the truck also. And kind of neat. You can just back the truck up to the floor and then just pull everything off that you need. Putting another wall together here. Sliding one off of the truck. Someone up here looks like they have some temporaries up here, but kind of looks like this guy's up here and they're holding the wall up. I don't know if this one right here, it doesn't look like this is attached to anything, but it could be attached to the corner wall here also. Another view there. Guy checking out the camera over here. Another guy with a pipe in his mouth. You wouldn't really think that would be cigarettes maybe, but come on, a pipe? I guess, and he's on top of the wall. I'd imagine him being on the ground somewhere smoking his pipe. Putting the corner together. And here it looks like they're going to use some type of a hoisting system. You can see the pulley here and the ropes, and it's for to lift the gable ends up. So sometimes it's better to, or easier to build this stuff in place than it is to set everything up, prefab it, and then pull it into, lift it up into place. And again, you look at a lot of homes that are built today and they're not doing something like this. They are, I want to say at the same time, you know, these people don't have any electricity. There's nothing out here. So this might be the only choice, and it might actually be faster to do it like this than to prefab everything and, you know, have everything laid out and then you nail it all together. So progress, huh? When they make a little progress in the future, there they are. Kind of surprised that they were nailing it from the bottom up. That kind of surprised me, you know, why they wouldn't just be nailing it down. Some things I don't understand, but I'm sure they have their reasons. And of course, you can see that here we have building paper on this side, but no building paper up here. I don't really know the reasoning behind that. And of course, a big gable vent. And then this gable's already set, and they haven't put the rafters in. Looks like they put the walls in, then the gable end, and then they put the rafters in. Looks like they're taking it down here, and they already got this set up here. And it looks like if you notice here, we have a hand pump for water over here. So it kind of dates the period of time. Another view of it there. Somebody looks like they're getting water, and this guy's thirsty, heading over to the water. And of course, setting the prefabricated, I'd like to call these roof trusses. Maybe these are the original roof trusses here. And you can see we have 1x4, it looks like, ceiling joists in here. That's kind of interesting. Everything's 1x4 except for the 2x rafters. Now they're shingling it, and I don't have pictures, you know. These are the only pictures I found. I kind of put them in order. I didn't have it would have been neat to have pictures of the foundation, how it was built, more pictures of it. But this was all I found. Another guy with a block plane here, trimming the corners, I would imagine. And here's the only guy I found without a hat. He's the painter, so I don't know what the deal is there. He's not in the shade, it doesn't look like. Shade's on the other side. Back to the shinglers, and of course here's their hats. Everybody here has a different hat on. Wood shingles, of course. And I noticed here, you're kind of probably looking like this is a ladder. There's actually a ladder over here, and I'm sure they use this as a ladder. But you'll see here in a couple of pictures, something like this is usually used for scaffolding. And here you can see it over here. They have these little A-frames, and here's the scaffolding over here, probably for doing painting or nailing over here. Another one of these scaffolding braces here, or A-frames. And here they are lifting the porch and setting the prefabricated porch in place. And still getting it into position. And then once it's in position, looks like this guy's putting everything together. Someone actually holding a string to straighten everything out. And here you can see one of the pouches. This guy actually looks like he has a hard hat on. And probably fit into working today here, huh? This guy would be illegal. You have to have a hard hat on, I noticed. And here's the guy with the block plane, planing the joists, flattening them out, it looks like. Or he could be just planing a board here. He might be planing. I mean, here's the top of the decking right here, it looks like. So he could be doing something else and not flattening out the joist. On the blocks, it looks like. I say that. I might have had the blocks in already. And we are coming to the end of the video here, putting the screen porch together. And here's one of the family, the screen porched, and then the regular porch. And of course a chimney. And this is the last picture, a couple of happy people. Here's the outhouse. They called them privies back then. And some furniture the carpenters might have made for them here. A couple of steps, potted plant, and a couple of happy people. So again, a pre-assembled house from the 1940s. In this video, I am going to show you what they had before the tape measure was invented. There it is, a folding ruler. And the tape measure, I think, would be the instrument of choice for most carpenters today, but this is what they used back then. You just simply folded it out in sections, butted it up against the edge of your piece of lumber. You weren't going to be hooking over anything like a tape measure. And then making your mark. There it is at 10 inches. Now let's double check it with the tape measure there. Nice, right on the money. So I checked it, I measured everything, and the only thing I could see is from tip to tip, there was, I think some rulers were 7 inches. This was about 1/8 of an inch short. So you wouldn't be able to just take the section of the ruler and mark at one end and then mark the other end. That just wouldn't be happening. So there it is, folding ruler. If you flip it over, you have 1 through 72 inches on one side, and then you flip it over, and then you have the reverse on the other side. And this all makes sense. You're kind of thinking like, why would it be like that? But if you turn it over, you can see where it's 1 to 6 inches on each side. So that would help you if you were measuring something. You don't have to think about which side you're going to use. You can grab either side and start marking, of course. So the folding ruler there, and of course the tape measure there. Now the real question here is, how many of you have used one of these before? Now I personally have never used one. I got this off of the internet and bought it for the sole purpose of making a video to show people about them. I've heard about them, heard people using them before, but if you have used one, then I would love to hear your reasoning behind it, why you used one of these instead of a tape measure.